we're still waving. Welcome to another car chat. I am going to take you with me to do one of my least favorite things to do in the world, which is return things to the post office and to UPS, because I bought a bunch of things. I'm going to England next week and I'm so excited. And a couple weeks ago I did a lot of online shopping to, buy some things for this trip, and I wanted to try a lot of things. Like, I made a Pinterest board, I had like a vision, so I was like, I'm gonna try a lot of things and I will commit to returning the things that I don't want. I usually buy things very minimally online, especially, and if it's just like one little thing that needs returning, I'll usually just donate it, because the actual process of returns is not great for my brain. I have neurodivergent. There's something about, maybe no one likes returns though. It's one of those things that makes me feel like I can't function. It's like I would rather write a whole book than make one return, in terms of like my brain can handle very complex tasks. So it's always baffling to me, the ones that just completely paralyze me, and this is one of them. So I thought I'd take you along in case maybe you need any motivation. I know sometimes when I watch people do boring things on vlogs, it's actually one of my favorite things because it helps me get up the inspiration to go do the boring things I have to do in my life. So I thought I would take you along, do this very boring thing. Also, it's just kind of funny because I did a lot of really exciting things this week and I didn't really vlog, but I'll probably show some clips when I talk about it. Part of the experiment that I'm learning too is one of my commitments, my only real commitment is make 20 videos. I'm trying to do once a week, but I'm not making myself any big rules. I'm very much in a grieving process from losing my dog in June, and so I'm also trying to be really gentle with myself while also enjoy this creative outlet that I've sort of created. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. I'm putting the AC one more up, so sorry if you can hear that in the noise. But anyway, loosely trying once a week every Friday, but I'm not going to be mad at myself if I miss a week. If it's not on a Friday, I'm not doing that to myself right now. The only real rule I've created for this tiny experiment is 20 videos. If I do 20 videos in the next 3 years, I will have done it and I will be happy. But another loose rule that I've set for myself is I'm only going to vlog when I want to, when it's fun, right? This is supposed to be a fun, creative outlet that's part of this little tiny experiment. And so I'm feeling out, what is that like? There are certain things where I think, oh, that might be fun, I might want to vlog. And then once I get closer, I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to take away from, I don't want vlogging to take away from any experiences. I only want it to add to experiences. And so far, lucky you, I've noticed it really adds to the boring experiences, or it really adds to work, like working remotely. I feel like it really adds to those experiences for me so far. This is just me. For some people, vlogging adds to their vacation experiences as well. Like, this is just for me personally. I bet it's different for everybody, but I'm really conscious of, I want to make sure it's something that is always adding to an experience for me and not ever taking away. So when it comes to England, for example, I don't know what's going to happen. I might vlog, I might not. I will for sure talk about it and share pictures, I'm sure. I'm sure when I get back, I will want to blah, and we'll show little pictures. That I feel very certain about. Anything else, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to go with how I'm feeling and what feels like it will add versus not. Right now, I'm kind of feeling like I'm probably going to need a lot of quiet in that trip. I feel like it's one of those trips where I need to get really quiet, really listen to my own voice and my own heart. So that's what I'm going to prioritize, but I will definitely be talking about it and showing you more as when I get back for sure. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. But lucky you, I'm bringing you on for the boring stuff, but this week was something else. It was mostly a week of crying, so you didn't miss too much, but grief hit me really hard this week. Boom. And I think some of it was I finished the game Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and I had started that game when my dog was alive, and he really hung out with me a lot when I played that game, more than even other games. And so I really felt that game and him very connected to me. I would take so many pictures of the screen and he was in all those pictures. And I'm going to talk about Clair Obscur right now for a little bit. If you are playing it, do not watch. I'll put some timestamps so you can kind of see the Clair Obscur part. Don't watch this part. If you are playing Clair Obscur, or if you are going to play Clair Obscur, or if you are a gamer and you're even tiny bit maybe thinking about it, do it. And don't listen to anything I'm about to say because I don't want to spoil anything for you. So spoiler alert, Clair Obscur, jump ahead. Don't listen to this part. So anyway, in the game, after Act 1, a very core character dies. He's very much a dreamer. I felt very connected to him. He dies, and then shortly after, unbeknownst to me, my dog died. And then when I returned to the game, you return to the game in Act 2, processing the loss of this guy. So I just felt so connected to this game throughout, and what I didn't know when I started playing it was that it is a game about grief more than, you know, and a lot of some of my favorite games definitely are about grief, but this one really is about grief, about processing grief. And the ending destroyed me. And I will say, about maybe like 90% of the way in, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a game developed by a French developer. And what I know about French storytelling is, you know, generally, obviously this is not always true, but, you know, I was like, I think, from what I know about French storytelling, I think this is gonna destroy me, right? This is not gonna be your typical American happy ending, which is great. I love a sad ending or an ending that's not what you expect. Actually, as a storyteller, I love being surprised. So I loved the endings. I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but there are some. But they did indeed destroy me. And I just bawled my eyes out Sunday night. It took me a week to process it. Like, I finally feel like I have processed Clair Obscur, and it's Friday, and I finished Sunday night. So now I'm ready, finally. I haven't asked any of my friends about it, because I just felt like I needed to be alone in processing it. But if you've played it, DM me on Instagram and tell me. I want to know now, what ending did you choose and why, and like, what was your interpretation of the ending? I'm ready to talk about it now. But it was very powerful for me, but it was really brutal as well, and it brought up a lot of stuff. There was also a lot of dog-coded stuff in the ending and in the game itself that I learned after, you know, finishing it and then reading stuff and watching documentary, which is so good. The documentary about the making of it on YouTube, watch that. And it was a lot. I also had a dream about my dog for the first time since he died, where he was just in the dream, alive. We like played fetch. It was really beautiful, actually, and it was still a dream. There was like a famous YouTuber in the dream as well that he like hugged, and I was like, oh, okay, yep, dreams be dreaming. So in some ways that helped, because it helped me laugh about it. It was like a weird random YouTuber that I barely even watch, you know, but it was just like, okay, you know, your subconscious is crazy. But you know, it was hard waking up, and it just brought up a lot of stuff that felt like the intensity of like the second or third week of losing him all of a sudden, months later. And so it was a really difficult week for me mentally, but had a lot of good things that were scheduled this week, which were really nice highs amidst the very low lows. So I saw Laufey in concert at the Kia Center, which is very much like an Orlando Magic, you know, location. So that was one of the best shows, if not the best show I've ever seen. If you have the chance to see Laufey live, go, run. She is incredible. I had such high expectations for the show because I just knew her voice was as good as it is. I knew she was so musically trained. I was like, I think this is gonna sound good. And I knew her aesthetic was so me, you know, she's bows and romantic and bunnies, and man, her and her team really, you could feel they were really trying to create an experience. And I was really impressed with the ways that they did that and the way she was on stage. She was so comfortable, she seemed so natural, and it wasn't too polished in terms of like the in-between song speaking, in a way that was fun, in a way that was great. It was just like actually her taking in the moment, being herself. And I think this was her first tour like this in the US, and so seeing her process singing and doing things, music like this, especially. My battery died. Luckily I have a spare, always. So anyway, seeing Laufey, seeing her play music like that in a stadium like that, and her really processing that was happening, it was really beautiful, like truly to witness someone really taking that all in and being like, whoa, how did I get here? And you know, at one point she turns things into like a jazz club, and you're just having this jazz club moment, which typically is something I've only seen in small venues, and you're experiencing it in this giant arena. It was really special. She's a gem. There were so many young women in the audience, and it felt really important and really special, and I was so inspired by the intention behind that show and the talent, of course, and just the experience she gave everyone. It was amazing. So please go see that if you can. And if not, listen to any of her albums. This new one, A Matter of Time, is incredible. That's what I'm going to listen to as I go do my returns. So yeah, let's go do that. But quick other highlights real quick, because after my returns, I'll probably just say goodbye. Wednesday night, I saw the finale of Summer I Turned Pretty with a bunch of friends at like a pub that showed it live. The screaming was so cathartic. I'm not much of a screamer, but hearing everyone else scream at the parts was like wonderful. I guess I had a lot. I felt like I wanted to scream this whole week in like pain, but I ended up doing a lot of things where people were screaming in joy. And just it's amazing how that works out sometimes. It was really beautiful. So Laufey, a lot of screaming, and a lot of screaming at Summer I Turned Pretty, which I really loved the finale. I love that series, I really do. And I'm not much of a love triangle romance kind of person. That show really, I fell in love with because of the storyline between actually the adult friends, the female friends, and the way that they dealt with the storyline of friendship and cancer. That's actually what pulled me in. And then the cinematography, the narration, the writing, and the music choices. So that's why I love the show. It's so personal to me. I just love it so much. I don't get much into a love triangle, team this, team that. That's just not me, but I think it's really fun that people do. I love hearing their thoughts and their opinions and their anger and their screaming, and it was really fun because that part isn't something I get into as much. It was really fun to be with people who feel that and who were just like, ah! I could feel that emotion, and it made it that much sweeter, and I loved it, and I just was very cathartic, the ending and seeing the character progressions from 3 seasons. I think Jenny Han is just a treasure, and I'm so in love with that content. So that was super fun. And then I also played, I think I talked about this in my last vlog, Dungeons and Dragons. If you rewind to last Saturday, we got back to that. Things happened. It was incredible, dramatic. And then Thursday night played Magic the Gathering with some friends, and I won for the first time ever. I've won when I play 1v1 with my husband, but like, I don't know, I just feel like that doesn't really count because Commander style of Magic the Gathering, this card game that I just learned, which is, it's been around forever, I just learned it, and I feel like it's not super meant for one-on-one, that style. So I've won, but never with like a bunch of people in the ways we really play. My husband and I usually playing just more for practice, getting to know our decks. And so that made me feel so great, and I'm not competitive. I don't really, feel too much when I win or lose. I truly like the experience of just playing things with people. Love competitive people. I think it's so fascinating, that drive and that feeling. It's just not one I have. But man, I was like, winning felt good. I was like, I needed a win. This felt so good. And so that was special just because it was my first win with my bunny deck, which I have. And I had also gotten this VIP like bag from the Laufey tour. I did like the VIP Laufey lounge package. A lounge thing was so cool. But anyway, the bag has bunny ears, and I got the bunny Mei keychain, and so that's my Magic the Gathering tote now, where I put my bunny deck. And so it was just wonderful. So it's been quite a week of highs and lows, and now we're gonna end with returning some mail. But I'm gonna do the big girl thing and do my duty. And then I'm super excited because this weekend, now that I have the clothes I did keep, I'm gonna plan all my outfits for England, and then I just have 4 more working days, and then I go to England, which I haven't been to in almost 20 years. So, or the English countryside anyway. I did drive through in my Spain vlog, if you saw, for like an hour, but now we're gonna go. And I just couldn't be more excited. So, all right, let's go do the boring stuff. Okay, one down, successfully went to the post office. One of the returns had to be at the regular post office. The other ones go to UPS. So I've got to go to 2 places. Why does the post office cause me so much anxiety? Is this like relatable to anyone else? I don't know what it is about the post office. It always makes me so anxious. I'm like, what do I do? Am I gonna do it right? I don't know. It's wild to me. Every time. I always think I'm gonna be fine, and then I'm not. I'm in there and I'm like, internally, obviously, no one would know. But I've never returned from this place before, so Anyway, like, it was like a QR code on your phone, so I had to get that, and I'm like, all needs to be in one box, but I don't have a box. Will this box work? And the guy was so lovely, so that was great. I was very delighted by all of the current stamps out right now. They're so cute. I see why people collect stamps. At the end, when he asked me, do you want to buy stamps? I was so tempted to buy the Bobcat stamp. So tempted, but I didn't. But it was so cute. And then at the end, before I paid for my box, it asked, like, he's like, oh, we can do this little survey, and it's like, you know, a mad face, a neutral face, and a happy face. So I said a happy face, and he was like, the guy earlier today gave me a mad face. I was like, oh my gosh, right to your face, because he like can see it. So we had a nice little human moment, which is always great about getting out of the house, which is rare when you work remotely. Though, I mean, this week I did get out of the house a lot, but yeah. I don't know, even when you check out though, it feels like a lot of times there's just so much more digitally nowadays. Even at the Kia Center, like my checkout was digital, my order was digital for the food at the Summer I Turned Pretty, you know what I mean? It's nice to have a little human moment at the post office. And now we go to UPS, almost done, almost ready to start our weekend. And also I'm now about to be on Colonial Drive at 5 p.m. Why, you know, why? If you're Orlando people, you know. Why would I do this to myself? But this was just the only time I could get it done. And, you know, last minute, here we are. But we're doing it. We're almost done with our returns. And then the weekend can begin. Okay, I'm at UPS. I parallel parked, which I didn't know this was a parallel park situation. Didn't love that, but I did it. Okay, and this is it. We're almost done. I have a couple things that go to UPS, but UPS does not stress me out the way the post office does. Make that make sense. I have no idea if I can feel it in like here. Like I was like for the post office, and UPS. I'm like, nah. I go to UPS a lot when I carry on to like trips, like when I went to Concord to see Orchard House, where Little Women was written and like used in the movie a little bit. I carry on now, but trips like that, when like I go to a gift shop and I like find a lot of things, like a lot of books. So I've got a couple trips where I buy a bunch of books and things. Right before I go home, I just, you know, bring everything to a UPS, and I'm like, here, please ship this home, and they box it up. And I don't know, it just feels easier, and I don't feel as stressed. I don't know why. I had a lovely post office experience. I don't know why it stresses me out so much, but I got the hardest one over with. Now we're just at UPS, gonna go do my final returns, and then I'll be done. Thank you for coming. Thank you for helping. We did it! Thank you so much for helping me. I am so relieved. I've known I had to do these returns for like weeks, and they've been stressing me out the whole time. And I finally did it. You know, adulthood, huh? I have moved across the country twice, and that to me is a piece of cake. I will plan your cross-country move, no problem. But returns are my logistical nightmare. You know, I don't know. It is what it is. But I'm so relieved it is done. UPS just is, I don't know, it's just easier for me. It's calmer for me. Sorry, I'm always like messing with my hair. I need a haircut. My hair is so long and it's just everywhere. Anyway, I'm not going to cut it much, but still, it's time for a little trim next week before my trip. Okay. We did it. Happy Friday. It's the weekend. I'm going to go pick up dinner and celebrate my returns being done. And then the next time I see you, I'll either be preparing for England, I'll either be in England, or I'll be back from England and telling you all about it. So stay tuned. Have a good weekend. Bye.